Hi, Miss Winnona. Where are you taking me today?
Well, you saw the sign. It's the Vision Church of Atlanta. Good afternoon. Today, I'm going to meet with one of Atlanta's premier ordained ministers to discuss the topic of the Bible versus transgender. To discuss how religion relates to the transgender community. We're here at Carrot's Book at Little Five Points, Atlanta, where I'm to meet with Miss Kathy, Reverend Kathy Martin. Once again, I'm here today with Reverend Dr. Kathy Martin. She's an ordained minister in the United Church of Christ, presently serving as an associate minister at the Victory Church in Stone Mountain, Georgia. She holds a Master of Divinity from the Interdenominational Theological Center and is a Doctor of Ministry from Columbia Theological Seminary. And last but not least, she's the creator and executive director of the Interactive Faith Cafe, presently here in operation in Atlanta. And you have once a month activities?
Well, we started once a month. Now it's went to about once every other month, and now it's once when I can afford it.
I understand the economy's bad for every aspect of life. Would you prefer I call you Reverend or Doctor?
Either. Which one which sounds better to you?
I like it.
Okay, all right.
Reverend Martin, for many years now, from the time that homosexuality and alternate lifestyles began to be noticed or recognized in the broader community, there have been the greater segment of the heterosexual community that has devalued these quote-unquote alternative lifestyles, using religion and the Bible to place them in an unsavory life. To use passages regarding abomination and so forth and so on, to make them less than everyone else. Could you give us some clue as to where that places us in the larger scheme of the teachings of religion and the Bible?
You know, I read something recently that I think speaks to this. It says that many of us use religion or the Bible the same way that a drunk uses a light post. They just lean on it to prove a position rather than use it for illumination. Mm-hmm. And I believe that's what we're talking about throughout history in the church. Earlier on, black men were excluded from the church, the dominant culture of the church here in this country. And they had to help the society look at the text, look at Scripture differently to see that they weren't meant to be slaves. And then women had to do the same thing to come to, when women became people who were more present in using our voice in the church, women had to help someone else see from their perspective, from our perspective, that what you think you see in the text about me is not really there. Mm-hmm. And then same gender loving or homosexual, gay and lesbian person, bisexual, had to go back to the text too and say, well, when you really look at it, this is not what this means, mm-hmm. or it does mm-hmm. not apply to me. Mm-hmm. And I think it's it's important for people, I guess I should say trans community, to do the same thing, to be able to learn the text for themselves, and then be able to do like black men did, like women did, like gay and lesbian people did. Look at the text and say, what you think you see and hear about me, you don't see. Because I think historically, the church has used the Bible as I said, a lamppost for support, to support their position, not really to illuminate what's really there. And so because we don't illuminate what's really there, we don't see that the crux of the Christian faith anyway is based on love and acceptance and inclusion. And so that's the problem the church has had.
So would you say that various cultures up until today have used the Bible more as weapons as opposed to supportive instruments?
Well, you have to remember that the Bible was written and taught for years from a very patriarchal perspective. And, you know, as I said, it was a small group of people that didn't want to include anybody, and it took those of us who were men or women or gay and lesbian to speak up. And so because there are things in the Bible that speak to, slaves obey your masters, that's how men were excluded. And for gay and lesbian people, it was, the text in Leviticus and talking about homosexuality being an abomination. And so historically, yes, people have been able to take a literal interpretation of the Bible and use it to support any position that they have. And it really gets to the power dynamics of society in general, and that's why I talked about patriarchy. It gets to the point that people who are in control of a situation don't want to give up that control and don't want to include other people because then they have to let go of what they think they know or what they think they have.